because the group that meets in here with me every Wednesday, they're used to us just diving right in. But for those of you that aren't in here every week, I just want to speak a little bit and also like tie it into our theme of regeneration and what it means to be a regenerative artist. And in my opinion, and I'm sure I'm certainly not alone, being an artist that is expressing messages for humanity makes the human figure an incredibly powerful tool in expressing those stories, right? So, and many very successful artists depict the human form outside of realism, but under the foundations of all of that is certainly some classical practice. And so it's also incredibly meditative and humbling in the artistic process to devote some time to practicing the human form and getting acquainted with the sacred vessel that our soul inhabits, that we get to experience life with others in, and tell stories, share love, and all of that jazz. So I don't want to take up too much time talking. I'm going to go ahead and jump into where you at? Not you.
You just tell me when to begin, yeah? And I will keep on from there.
Sounds good. It's this one. Okay. I see what happened here. Okay, just getting it set up so that we have a little smooth transition. You guys don't have to watch me go through all of them. Here we go. Et voila. C'est ça. Okay. We're going to start up here. Right on. So yes, the sacred language of the human form. We're going to jump into a figure study session very shortly. But as I was preparing for today, I was thinking about what I just shared with you about how important the human figure is in storytelling in the visual arts. And that's certainly arguable what the most important thing is. But in my opinion, part of it is certainly one of the most important things is the human form. And so when we trace back the visual arts to some of the oldest paintings in the world, you can see here some probably ink dyes made out of plants that have been sprayed through a reed. So essentially like the first form of airbrush, right? And these are depicting the hands of the people who were creating this art. And I just find these paintings so fascinating and relatable, right? Because they're literally the outlines of the people's hands, and you can hold your hand right up to it and see the reflection and find this connection with people that lived literally 40,000 years ago. So cool. Thank you, people 40,000 years ago. And then fast forward a couple thousand years and we have one of the most famous paintings of a nude figure known to modern man, and that is The Birth of Venus by Botticelli. And I love Botticelli's work, and you can see this is one example where it's not like super realism yet. They haven't quite gotten into like the full classical realism. So there's an illustrative quality to the form that still is quite successful, that we still are, it's very beloved to us today. And switching it up a little bit is Arc and Boldo. I love these paintings. Some of them reside at the Kunsthistorische in Vienna, and I've pored over these paintings. And even though this is not the human form, it very much is. The subjects are plants and vegetables, but he's expressing a human form here. And so this is one kind of creative foray into the expression of the human form without being literal. Artemisia Gentileschi, one of the few female artists throughout classical art that is known, whose name is known. And I really love the Judith and Holofernes paintings by pretty much everybody. I don't know why. There's just something like so, like, you wouldn't imagine somebody in 1612 painting this, but man, there's a bunch of them. Girl with the Pearl Earring, Vermeer. These are some of these are like incredibly identifiable, very familiar. Alan Ramsey, one of the few depictions that we have within classical art of a person with color. The Swing, love this. So not only are like the living figures, but now they have the cherubs in stone. And William Blake also forayed deeply into combining animals and human form. And here you see one of my favorites within that realm. The Barber of Suez. I love the mood and the colors in this painting and this sizzling incense pot back here. Love this painting as well. Alphonse Mucha, an incredible figurative painter and really truly one of the first graphic design artists in making advertisements, but also was a fabulous painter. And if you ever have a chance to see any of his Slav epic paintings, I highly recommend them. I should have thrown some pictures of those in here. The Lady of Shalott, Waterhouse, super identifiable, familiar one within our visual lexicon. Nighthawks, Edward Hopper, another super identifiable one, pretty much all of us have seen. I think that's the end of my slides. Yeah. So you get the gist, right? The human form is incredibly important and powerful in our ability to express these stories. And as we're trying to create these landmarks and these signposts for the future, for the way that we wish to see the world, the human form is hardly anything is more important to become proficient and practice. Take some time to devote to. So without further ado, are you guys ready to do some drawing? And even if this isn't something that you've ever done before, like, give it a go. You can see here on my screen over here, let me just pop it up and spotlight myself. I literally just have a Bic pencil right now. I don't even have any of my fancy pencils or anything like that. I'm just gonna take my Bic pencil, which has an eraser, but I also have my little kneadable eraser. So if anybody wants to, get funky with it, that one's a fun tool, mostly just so that you can have something to play with in your other hand while you're drawing. So, you can see some of the studies that I've done throughout the weeks here. And they start off with these 1 minutes where I'm just warming up and I'm working fairly small. I'm gonna stop the movement. They're pretty rough, so when we do these first opening gestures, if you've never done this before, warm-ups often in figure studies are called gestures, and they might last 30 seconds, they might last 1 minute. We're going to do 1 minute long ones, and the idea is to get the essence of the figure and for me, really, it's to get myself out of my mind and thinking so much about what I know about the body and really seeing the shapes of the form being the light shapes where the highlights are and the shadow shapes, and also in general, just the line of movement. So we're going to pop over here. I'm going to share my screen again to the site that we're going to use for our studies today. It's called Line of Action, and it's one we've used a few in these sessions before. And this is the one that for me right now is my preference. It has a great selection of photographs. They're usually great quality. They also will show the photograph, the photographer's name in the upper left-hand corner. And you'll see in the upper right-hand corner, there's a time, countdown, a timer that counts down how much time you have left. So just show you that once we get in there as well, we'll select our only nude models. Yes, we can't stream this probably. And we're gonna do 60-second intervals. So Stroopy, how are you feeling out there?
Hey,
Hi.
I'm happy to be sphere with you and get a chance to play a little, because most of the time, I don't feel too much drawn to drawing, but very much to drawing out sounds, and it's a nice chance because actually this is, for me, this is kind of the end for the event, because I'm